This message is for high achieving women who are tired of becoming better. You're over becoming a better version of yourself in the sense that you are constantly performing. But instead, this message is for the high achieving woman who wants to be made whole. You're tired of the giving out that you do with no return on the investments and the deposits that you have made because the withdrawals that are taking place are depleting you. You are tired and frustrated with having to put on a show, put on your brave face, smile for the camera, smiling for your friends and family members, and yet you have no one to go to tell them the very aches of your soul. You have been in a place, in a position where externally you are successful. You dot every I and you cross every T. But yet and still, when you are at home, when you are alone, you feel empty. You feel like, is this all that life has amounted to? And then you feel even worse because you're doing better than your family. So you feel like you have no one to complain to. You're doing the best out of all of your friends. So you feel like there's no reason to create this fuss because you feel like people will think that you are ungrateful. But deep down inside, there's this discontentment. And the discontentment has you in a place of agony, a place where you have been searching to discover, why are you in this place of uncomfortability? Why is there this nagging gesture that is just eating away at you and eating away at you, but yet you feel like you have nowhere to turn? If that's you, then this video is for you because you don't need more personal development. I'm going to say that again. You don't need more personal development. You don't need to be more professionally developed. But what needs to happen is you need to reclaim your voice. Your voice has been stolen. Your voice has been pillaged. It has been spoiled. It has been placed in a treasure box that you are not using. You're not using the voice that you were divinely designed to use. Now, here's the thing. When I speak about your voice, I'm literally talking about your ability to speak up and to speak out in situations and circumstances. But here's the kicker. Your voice is tied to how you think, and it's also tied to the actions that you take. Because many times when your voice is suppressed, when you're afraid to vocalize, you don't do the things that are necessary to get the result that you know is possible to get because you feel handcuffed. So until you reclaim your voice, every program that you're going through, all the little personal development things that you're doing here and there, it's not going to move the needle. It's not going to take you where you want to go. It's not going to be the light that you're looking for because you're looking for something that has not yet been discovered, and you're looking for you. You're looking for the version of you that's bright-eyed. You're looking for the version of you that is excited to take on the day. You're looking for the version of you that is energized. You are looking for the version of you that knows where you're going, that is sure of herself. You are looking for the version of you that even in the midst of defeat, even in the midst of battles, even in the midst of obstacles, this version of you, she can keep going. This version of you knows how to give herself a pep talk. And when she gives herself a pep talk, she begins to create this atmosphere that is electric, this atmosphere that is conducive to power being demonstrated. See, you are looking for the version of you that has been silenced. You're looking for the version of you that was meant to make waves. And a lot of times, we don't want to make waves. We don't want people looking in our direction because you're walking around feeling small, being small, living small. When you were meant to be large, you were meant to have your tent expanded. You were meant for big things. Now, I am not saying that you should despise the small beginnings, right? Because everything great and mighty starts out small. But what I'm saying is the small that you have been inhabiting, the small that you have been living out was never your small to begin with. It was never the small that you were meant to engage with and stay with. But it's the small that has been your prison. It's the small that has encapsulated you and has prevented you from going to the next level. That small has bound you. That small has limited you. That small has hindered you. But I am here to challenge you that in this season, as you launch out, as you go forth, you begin to believe in not just this better version of you, but you begin to believe in a whole version of you. That the version you meet, she's going to be whole. And in that wholeness, she's going to have joy. In that wholeness, she is going to have peace. In that wholeness, she is going to have prosperity. I want you to think of the wholeness in this way. Think of it like a pizza. Now that I'm talking about pizza, I might have pizza for dinner. But anyway, think of wholeness like a pie of pizza. And in this pie of pizza, there are 8 slices. Now, if you take one of those slices away, the pie is no longer a complete circle. But now it is open. There's actually a breach in there. There's a way to get in. And in getting in, all kinds of stuff can happen. It can be contaminated. It can be altered. It can be changed. You have been living your life as this pizza pie that has had portions of you taken out of it. Now, there's 8 pieces or 8 slices of pizza in this example that I'm using. And you've been taught to compartmentalize your life. You've been taught to have personal over here, family over here, business over here, blah, blah, blah. You've been taught about this compartmentalization where everything in your life is separate. It has its own filing cabinet. It has its own drawer. It has its own way that you deal with that thing. But the truth of the matter is it all flows from the same place, right? The pizza, although it is now slices, all came from one whole pie. The lie of compartmentalization tells you that when you put something in its own file cabinet, it will never interact or become connected to the thing that is in the next file cabinet. But what we know from the pizza is that all came from the same cheese. They were all on the same pie. They were all on the same dough. All of the same sauce came together to make that pie. And it was cut into pieces in order to be distributed rightly. What compartmentalization does is it creates dysfunction. I'm going to say that again. What compartmentalization does is it creates this dysfunction that causes you not to live up to the whole standard of who you are, because you can't, what compartmentalization tells you is you don't show up the same way with your family as you do with your friends. Or you don't show up the same way with your friends as you do with people at work. Or you don't show up the same way with the people at work as you show up with your neighbor, right? You don't bring that person with you. But what the principle of wholeness says is who I am, regardless of the layer on what you see, still shows up. And it flows from one particular place. If you are so busy trying to put on a mask at work, and you are so busy putting on a mask with your friends, and you are so busy putting on a mask with your family, you don't have time to really nurture the woman that you are. Here's a secret that no one will tell you. It is so crucial that you first love you, that you first love the skin you're in, that you first love how you've been designed, that you first love what you've been equipped with, that you first love you before you can fully impact everyone else around you. And see, self-love has been polluted. It has been placed up as this place of selfishness. But the truth of the matter is that until you can properly, adequately, and biblically love you, you do a disservice to everyone around you. Jesus was asked this question. He was asked, what is the greatest commandment of all? And he said, it is to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your strength. He said, and the second commandment is like it in the same, and that's to love your neighbor as yourself. We got a lot of people walking around who don't love themselves. So they're disrespecting and dismantling their neighbor because the first person you ever disrespect is you. See, the next time you try to go become a better version of you without actually understanding how to become the whole version of you, you disrespect you. You cause dysfunction to enter into what should be a place of wholeness, what should be a place of safety, what should be a place of security. So the next time you are looking for another personal development fix, the next time you are looking for the next new thing, the next thing that's going to give you this pizzazz, I want you to think about how much you want to disrespect you. How much you want to cause dysfunction and division and disorganization in your own life. Because until you are whole, you will never be satisfied. The reason you are frustrated instead of being focused is because you have failed at being whole. And what I mean by when I say that you have failed at being whole is that you haven't entered into the place where you meet the version that you've been designed for. And here's the thing, it's not your fault. And this is what I mean by that. You were groomed into the version of you that you are today. You were taught by parents and teachers and friends that the watered down version of you is what was necessary. And when you got a little louder and when you got a little out of character, people did what they could do to put you back into this box that was never meant for you. And people kept putting you in this box and putting you in this box and putting you in this box until you stopped getting out of the box. Well, I have come to you in this video to say it's time to break out of the box and we're going to burn that box up. Yes, we're burning it up because it's been the place of confinement for you. It's been a place where you have been held captive, where you have been captivated by all the outwards adorning on the box. Because when people help to usher you back into that box that you were in, they said, oh, this box is good for you. Because look what we could do with this box. We could decorate it all nice and pretty. Let's put this over here and do this over here. And to everybody looking at the box looks good. But to you, the one in the box is empty. Because all that happened was decoration happened on the external portion of the box. But transformation didn't take place internally. There was no shifting and moving and changing and altering of things that were necessary in order for you to feel fulfilled in that box. Because here's what happens. They bring you back in line. They say, oh, that's not like your character. That's not the you that you should play. Right? So they usher you back to this box and you step into the box and the box is not your size. I was shopping for my daughter for some sneakers. She's 7 and so she is so smart. She ended up cutting her shoelaces because they had a knot in them and she knew that if she cut the knot out, the knot would be gone. But what she didn't know is that when she cut her shoelace, the shoestrings would get a little bit smaller and she wouldn't be able to use them the same way she could before. And so we're getting ready to get on the bus, and my baby says, Mommy, what happens if you cut your shoelaces? And I said, well, what do you mean? Because I don't ever answer no question directly, honey. If you ask me a question, I need to know what you mean by the question. What are you really looking for? I know you asked me this, but what are we looking for? What's the end result? What are we going to get from this? And so I'm like, well, what do you mean, honey? And she goes, well, I had a knot in my shoelace and I cut it out. And I said, oh, I could see why you would do that, because cutting the knot out solves the problem, right? It gets that knot out, but it creates another problem. Now you can't tie your shoes. And the shoelaces are what's going to help to keep you safe inside the shoes so that when you run, when you move, you can be mobile and still have the grounding and the support of the shoes that are on your feet. So the bus is about to pull up. So I'm like, girl, what we gonna do? Because she got gym today. So I'm like, no worries. Okay, I'll get her some shoes. She needed sneakers anyway. I'll buy a new pair of sneakers. No worries. I'll get it done. Because I should have bought new sneakers anyway. But I'm glad I didn't buy new sneakers. Well, it didn't really matter if I bought new sneakers and she cut the shoelaces, because you could just buy more shoelaces. So anyway, so I go to the store. Well, no, I tell her, I say, don't worry. I'm going to bring you some shoelaces. I'm going to bring you some sneakers. Don't worry. We'll get this problem fixed. You'll be all set to go. So I send her on the bus. I go to the store. I'm like, I need shoelaces, and let me check out these sneakers that they have here. So I bought shoelaces and I brought sneakers. And so I go to the school to try on these shoes. They don't fit. They are too large for her. So I have my shoelaces as the backup, because I'm like, well, the sneakers don't look good. Like, let's just, either way, we got to get new pairs. So let's go ahead, put these shoelaces on, and I'll get you a different size of this shoe. So the initial shoe I buy for my daughter is too large for her. And so instead of me making her grow into the shoes, because it would have been so dangerous for her to wear them because of how large they were on her feet, I made the decision to go get a smaller pair that she could comfortably grow into over time. Well, the box that people have been putting you into, the idea of who you are, the version of yourself that people are most comfortable with, they have not actually weighed the benefit of it for you. See, when I went to go buy my daughter sneakers, I thought about what was best for her. And so I brought two options for her. I brought the shoelaces just in case the sneakers that I purchased were not going to be the best fit for her. I didn't want her to have to fit into something that she wasn't ready for. But I also didn't want her to be unsafe in the moment and have on sneakers that were not properly secured. So I brought solutions to her. See, what other people have done, knowingly or unknowingly, is they have put these obstacles in your way that now you have to sort through, because you're now having to discover you. That's why you're so uncomfortable. That's why you're so unhappy, because the whole version of you has not surfaced. The whole version of you have not yet been introduced to, because you have put on the version of you that everybody else thinks is appropriate for you. When I brought my daughter those sneakers, I asked her if she liked them. She said, oh, Mommy, they're so cute. And one thing I will say is I do a really good job of understanding her fashion desires, because she likes sparkly things. She likes pink things, and I like sparkly things too. And so I'm really good at being able to identify what she'll like and what she won't like. But I always verify with her, is this something that you want? Is this something that you like? Many times throughout your life, people did not verify if this was right for you. They verified if it was right for them. They verified if they were comfortable with the version of you that they were teaching you to be, that they were taunting you to be, that they were putting you into this box to be. And they were not concerned about how well you fit in that box. All they cared about was the fact that you got into the box. But you're over it. You are breaking out of what people thought you should be enclosed in, what they thought you should be captivated by. And again, a lot of times people are doing it not knowing that that's what they're doing. One of the things that I am eternally grateful for is how the Spirit of the living God checked me when I had my daughter. One thing that the Spirit of the living God said to me was, "You are not going to manipulate my daughter." Holy Spirit told me that I was not going to manipulate his daughter, that my daughter that I carried for 9 months, labored with for 23 hours. He said, "You, ma'am, won't manipulate my daughter. You're just the vessel I use to carry her here. You're the vessel I'm going to use to develop her. But one thing I want you to understand is that I won't let you mishandle her," right? And I'm so grateful for that check. I'm so grateful now. Now, could I have ignored the unction of the Spirit of the living God? Absolutely. But the reason I'm telling you that the Lord told me not to mishandle his daughter is because many times God is speaking to the people around us. He's speaking to us, but yet we refuse to hear his voice because our hearts are so hard. So the mistreatment that you experienced, I can assure you, I can probably guarantee that God was like, "Don't mistreat my daughter." And somebody took it upon themselves to do it anyway. I had a choice in the matter. I said, am I going to handle her well or not? But it wasn't a easy thing where I could just go and start doing something different. I had to learn. I had to be intentional about learning by the leading of the Holy Spirit how to handle her. Because there are so many moments where I want to be like, "Okay, girl, blah." Right? She said to me yesterday, because she went to her dad's house, she said, "Yeah, you get a break from me." And I said, what do you mean? She said, "You seemed a little annoyed with me." And I said, "You know what? I apologize because I took her with me to do some things." And one of the things she said to me while we were out, she goes, "Mommy, you know I like it loud. You know I like to talk. You know I like." And so while we were going out, I told her specifically, when we get here, don't do X, Y, Z. You know, my baby did X, Y, and Z. And I said something to her. She said, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. And it is so easy for their little brains to forget. How often do I forget? And I got a bigger brain than her. But my brain, I think, is fully developed. But kids' brains don't finish developing until 25. So I'm older than 25, so my brain is fully developed. However, I forget things too. And as a mom, I have to have this place of grace. And so what I did was I apologized to her. I said, "You know, I apologize for making you feel like an irritation. I apologize for that." A lot of times, the people that we're connected to don't know how to do that. They don't know how to apologize. They don't know how to position themselves in a place of humility to honor the relationships that they have. So in this season, as you are breaking out of that box, as you are burning that box down, as you are saying, "I am no longer going to be satisfied with just personally developing so I can become this better version of me." As you stand up and say, "I am reclaiming my voice, my divine identity, and I am going to lead the charge because I know that this will bring me into the place of wholeness," you're going to begin to understand the necessity and the power of respecting you first so you can properly respect those around you. Because as you love you, your love is going to overflow and hit and transform everyone around you. And it'll be like this tidal wave that just nourishes and waters and strengthens. And so if this video resonated with you, I need you to share it with 4, 5, 6, 10 people, right? And I want you to determine today that number one, you're going to readily identify the box that you have been placed in, the box with all the dressing, the box with all the fixtures and the ornaments and all the adorning on it. And you are deciding today that that box does not serve you, that the compartments that you have conjured up or brought up or gotten together. Conjure is such a negative word, and I don't mean it in a witchy way because I serve Jesus Christ. When I say what you have conjured up, I'm meaning it has come from a place that is counterfeit. So essentially it is witchy. But I'm not telling you to do nothing witchy. What I'm saying is we're going to destroy the very thing that was never intended for you anyway. It's been conjured up to stop you. It's been conjured up to hinder you. It's been conjured up to block your path. But as daughters of the King, we put our foot upon the very neck of the thing that thought that it was going to take us out. And we rise up effective in everything we do because we're whole. When the peace of God hits the life of a man or woman of God, of a child of God, it ushers in wholeness. Wholeness is nothing missing, nothing broken. That's the you that I'm speaking to. That's the you that belongs in the seats and the places that God has designed for you. And so I'm excited about what God will do. I'm excited about the transformation that will take place. I'm excited about the lives that you will impact, because there is a grace upon your life that you have not entered into because you're so filled with all of the stuff that other people heaped on you. Remember all that, the adornment on the outside of the box, like that's stuff that other people heaped on you. But yet it's all empty, because remember, in the box is empty. In the box is too little for you. In the box, it's not your size. But as you become this whole version of you, you are taking off the accoutrements of other people. You're taking off the success measurements of other people. You are taking off the status symbols of other people. And you are going to put on the you that is whole, the you that is complete, the you that is lacking nothing, the you who is aware of the value of your voice, the you that is aware of how powerful your thoughts are, the you who is aware that your actions activate and transform and move. That's the version of you that you're going to meet in this season. If this video blessed you, share, like the video, and come back again. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.